Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for March 30, 2023, the Retaliation edition. We begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal in a rather perplexing turn of events in what prosecutors say is a massive corporate hacking campaign. A group of hackers have hacked into a large number of climate proponents. And these were companies that are advocates for climate change. And now they are apparently the targets of hackers who have successfully gained access to their passwords or accounts. Among the targets was the Rockefeller Family Fund. And what's interesting about this is an Exxon spokesman voluntarily denied they had no knowledge of these hacking activities. So why would Exxon give a denial when no one asked them for one? Well, that's a really interesting question. Yet many of these activist groups have been targeted or infiltrated. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. Next up in retaliation, Howard Schultz testified before Congress and basically said that the Starbucks employees who were fired, they were not fired for union activity, were fired because they violated company policy. It just happened every one of them did. So whether you believe Starbucks retaliates or not, sure is awful coincidental. When it comes to retaliation, one service that's not generally been on the radar has been TikTok. But from Tech the Lead, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, they report the story that was originally reported in Forbes that TikTok was using geotags to track journalists. So TikTok has fired the people and said that was not their culture. Nevertheless, there it is. Our final story comes to us from the Wall Street Journal, a little bit different, but a UN-funded task force has urged companies to take stock of their impact on nature and related climate risks. So now we have the UN talking about it and the Magnum hat wearing GOP saying, no, you can never talk about climate because that's right up there with drag queens and other activities that can only get you in trouble. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.